Everybody, welcome to Grow Night. My name is Cliff Hart. I'm coming from Mountain Valley, Virginia, Northern Virginia, and just outside Washington, D.C., indoor garden market slash greenthumb.com. And we are here to help you learn how to grow food year-round inside your home using LED grow lights. It's a whole new world of interesting things that you can grow, thousands of varieties of herbs and greens, dozens of kinds of different dwarf-sized tomatoes, cucumbers, pepper plants. There's so many things that you can grow using the power of LED grow lights, and it extends your growing season out to 12 months of the year. Every week you can harvest using systems, and it's extremely abundant. That provides you with up to 75 pounds of greens, herbs, and fruiting plants per year in a very small space, about the same size space as a coffee table, small coffee table. So this week we're all about harvesting, drying, and regrowing, keeping in mind that you can grow and reharvest and grow again from plants inside your indoor food growing systems continuously throughout the year. It's not like outdoors where you have to take the system down at the end of your cycle once it gets too cold or once it gets too hot, depending on what you're growing. You can continuously do this. And so we have a free training program. You can scan that QR code up there on the right. That's going to get you access to tips and tricks, discounts on supplies. You can grow along with us through each of these cycles. We do 4 full cycles per year. That's multiple harvests. We feature new kinds of plants to grow and learn and eat, and many new things. It's a lot of fun. It's great for kids as an indoor activity. It's great for people who are older and who can't bend down, who have trouble reaching into the ground. Maybe weeding is an issue. There's very little bugs that will bother your indoor food growing space. So it's a very interesting opportunity for people living in cities and urban spaces and people who just really will never have access to land. So exciting, and I'm happy that you're here joining us. Keep in mind that you can do this anytime you want. So if you encounter this video 2 months from now and Christmas time, perfect. Start your indoor food garden, grow. Start harvesting usually within 30 to 40 days, and you're going to be growing fresh greens, fresh vegetables, fresh tomatoes for your family quicker than you could ever imagine. So let's get us kicked off here, and don't forget to scan the training QR code, get signed up, really easy, totally free. You can start anytime you want. So got a couple of systems. You can kind of see one poking over here. This is actually our DIY grow mesh stand-in and vertical light system. How do you know when to harvest though? So for leafy greens, you want to look for 5 to 8 mature leaves. The outer leaf you want to harvest versus, say, cutting off the whole head. And I actually do have a system here. This is one of the AeroGarden systems to kind of give you a sense of it so we can see what it looks like. So here's one of the plants. Plants have actually grown out. You can see that the root system there is pretty robust. Oh, my hand's kind of blocking it. I mean, the root system has grown out so much that you can't even remove the plant from the box anymore. But to harvest from it, you're going to either pull off these outer leaves or use scissors. You can actually cut these outer leaves off. And the goal here is to keep these fresher, younger leaves in, let them grow out, keep growing. Typically, these plants are going to grow up to 40 days, 60 days, somewhere around in there before you're going to replace them. These AeroGardens, pretty small system as you can see it. This is totally overgrown. I kept these greens growing here just so I could use for demonstration, but normally I would have harvested them back pretty much already. 2 weeks ago, I would have started harvesting them back. So super easy, leafy greens, cut the outer leaves off of the plants, and you're going to be able to harvest continuously from the plants, depending on the kind of system that you're using, how much horizontal space those plants have to grow out. After a while, you will see either overgrowth, so the plants will get constricted, they'll grow together. They just won't get a lot of space to grow into anymore, depending on the kind of system. Like the AeroGarden definitely has limited horizontal growth space. And then bolting. So that means the plant's at the end of its life cycle, it's going to shoot up. It's usually going to get bitter. It's going to start to go to flower, and then eventually seed. It could be a great opportunity for you if you want to pull that plant out, dry it out. When the seeds are ready, you can plant your seeds again, depending on the kind of plant that you're growing. Herbs, a little bit different. So in The box I just showed you, herbs are going to be ready probably about 60 days. They do take longer than the greens and herbs. Than the greens that I just demonstrated, which was a form of lettuce. It's good to actually harvest in the morning when the plants are just kind of getting going. They've got some energy and they're just picking up through the day. And the fruiting plants, lots of variations here. I don't have any fruiting plants to actually demonstrate for you, but generally you're going to harvest the ripe fruits, or for example, tomatoes. You could harvest a little bit early, put them into a paper bag, and they would ripen over time. Get a little bit more of that fresh tomato flavor, and they will typically be ready to harvest in about 90 days, somewhere around there. That's when they're going to be harvestable, and then they will be harvesting. You can go from 90 days, 3 months, out to 6 or 8 months of harvest time beyond that. So really easy to understand, like what a fresh tomato looks like when it turns red, or it's actually a little bit firm. You can see when to grow it, or when to harvest it rather. So lots of ways to do that. Let's take a quick look at the Grow Mesh DIY system. So this is interesting system. It grows 16 plants at a time. So that encompasses 3 side salads per week. You can expand that into 32 plants by using one of these stands and 2 systems side by side. 32 plants at a time is enough for 5 full side salads per week. Maintenance is super simple. Just a few minutes, you're going to add water, nutrient water, to the reservoir at the bottom, or you're going to top it off as needed. So 1 time per month, you're going to cycle out, pour out those old nutrients, pour in a fresh gallon of nutrients. It's very, very easy to do. So I'll wheel our system in here. Let's take a quick look at it. Show you a little bit of a difference between these vertical systems and the systems that you've got with the boxes. So with the nice thing about the Grow Mesh systems, lots of space, vertical space to grow for these plants. As you noticed in the AeroGarden system, really compact. You just don't have a lot of space to grow out. But the advantage for the Grow Mesh system is that you've got a nice big space to grow out here. It's growing vertically up. So this is a type of lettuce. So if I was harvesting from here, I would just pull off these outer leaves. And keep in mind that this plant next week is going to start to get so much growth that it will begin to constrict its growth. So you really do want to harvest early and often when it comes to these plants. So this week I'm going to harvest around the outside edge. And you can do that with a simple pair of scissors. Just go in and grab some of the outer leaves right here. Just clip those off, and it's actually good to clean your scissors. Keep these only for doing your harvesting and eat right away. Usually the fresher the leaves are, the better they are. No spraying. There's none of the usual things that you would normally see if you were growing outdoors. There's very little bugs. It's usually really easy to do. So you can actually take 2 of these systems, put them side by side with lights in the middle, kind of like what you see right here, and you're able to grow year round. The Grow Mesh system is originally designed for outdoors, but I found it's highly productive indoors. So check out the Grow Mesh garden link right there to order it. Made in the US. It's actually made over in Georgia, and we do have a QR code as well that will show you our stand. Give me 1 second to find that. Here it is. So scan that QR code. It will take you to a PDF, and then it's got the 3 things. So it's got the stand for growing on, can hold up to 2 systems, 32 plants at a time, and then 4 of these lights as well. Super easy to use. Definitely recommend with this because at approximately 30% of the cost of many of the other big systems out there, you can get enough food growing in these vertical systems to constantly produce for your family. So it's really, really easy to do. So that's the Grow Mesh. I started growing with that system quite a long time ago, and I was growing outdoors, loved it so much I started to work on growing indoors. So let's move right along here. Take another look at the AeroGarden. Now you notice that there's actually quite a lot of space for the plants to grow out. And that's the defining difference, I would say, between the Aero Garden and the Grow Mesh system. Aero Garden is just not going to have a lot of space for your plants, but Harvest is fairly simple and very easy. One difference with the Aero Garden is that you can actually pull these plants out as needed, and there's a little basket that they're kind of sitting in. You can pull the plants out and you can replace them. As the plants start to go bad, you can pull this out and then put in a fresh seedling. A little bit easier. The grow mesh actually has a mesh inside, so the plants, especially like an herb, it's going to grow deep roots into that mesh. Harder to remove it. Not a big deal. You can take down the system, dry it out, pull the plants out of it. It's going to be fine. Just takes a little bit more time to cycle it into something new. But these littler boxes, you can switch the plants in and out pretty easily. So makes it easy to produce 1 to 2 side salads per week, I would say, or culinary herbs to cook with. It's just not a big producer. And that's one thing that people often start with one of these. They'll grow a few plants. They won't really see much of a lifestyle change though, because they just don't get a huge amount of production from it. Totally fine. It is a great starter system. You can experiment with it, kind of spread your wings, understand how these things work, and it's an awesome resource for you. So, we actually don't have any of the Aero Gardens on our shop, but we do have Let Pot Gardens, and I'll just bring up that code. So Let Pot Gardens code is right up there on the upper right. It's very similar kind of box, a little bit bigger. And okay, here, let me show you the other one here. This is a little bit easier. So QR code right there. Pretty similar. It's going to be bigger. It actually has a larger reservoir and capacity, so it can grow 20 plants at a time. And it's got an external reservoir to allow you to use external nutrients, pump those into your system. Pretty easy to use app, all kinds of bells and whistles, and it's going to get you great results while you're growing here. So moving right along, drying, preserving, storage. So it's very easy to dry herbs. You can actually disconnect them from your system, pull them out, maybe cut them off. You can hang them outside or inside, depending on your space, say maybe inside of a closet, and you can just let them dry out. Make sure there's some airflow. You've got a fan on it, something like that. You don't want it to start to mold. A good way to do that is to have good airflow. Sunlight is going to help prevent that. You want to dry it out so that you can then harvest the dry leaves and then store them. Refrigeration is totally possible. You can freeze herbs just like anything else, and then you'll have them for fresh later. Keep them inside your refrigerator, and you can also store them in oil. Like olive oil is a common way of doing that. People have done that for millenniums. So it's a very easy way of doing it. Now, if you're just joining us and not really sure where you ended up, we are actually a planter at indoorgardenmarket.com. I've got some really great resources to get you started. Free indoor food growing training program. You can learn how to use soil techniques with LED grow lights, hydroponics techniques, to begin producing up to 75 pounds of greens, herbs, and fruiting plants for your family per year. Really exciting capability. Hasn't been around that long, so if you didn't notice it before, no problem. That's because it really wasn't there 3 years ago. Light technology prices have come down. System technology prices have come down. We've got endless amounts of variety that we can grow for ourselves. And we can really take control of our food supply in ways that just simply wasn't available. So to get you started, we've got a free indoor food garden setup guide right there. It's just going to be step-by-step. Okay, here's what you need for step 1. Here's what you need for step 2. Here's what you need for step 3. Super easy to get going. This Grow Night episode that you're watching now is part of this process. So we actually take you from planting your seeds all the way through end of harvest, and then resetting, designing your new garden, growing new things, like lots of different stuff. So that's all part of a free digital course package that's available on YouTube. It's a playlist. All you have to do is scan the link, go to the playlist, and you can start at the beginning of the cycle and grow straight through with us. So it's really easy to do. Moving right along here, regrowing indoor plants, cut and come again. So techniques for greens, kale, arugula, lettuce. you can always cut off of the plants and come back to them. It's super easy. You don't have to cut off the top of the plants and kill them. You can get multiple harvests from them, really get quite a bit out of a plant as opposed to just buying a plant that's half dead at the grocery store and leaving it at that. Root bases of green onions, bok choy, celery. If you put that into water, you can actually use those plants again. They will put down new roots, transplant them into a soil system with lights over it, transplant them into a hydroponic system. Lots of ways you can do that. So you can replant those stems as needed, which is really nice. Okay, so if you're unfamiliar with us, I am part of the community grower program at planterindoorgardenmarket.com. In our local area, for example, my local area is in Northern Virginia, I do a local event the first Sunday of every month at a local brewery called Cricket Run. Now, if you happen to attend one of those events, then you get access to our seedling bundles. We grow those out to save you 30 days of growing time. So if you buy a system at one of the events, or if you want to subscribe and become a regular customer to grow 12 months out of the year, you get access to these seedlings. These seedlings come prepackaged, so you can drop them in either a hydroponic system of your choice, a soil-based system, however you want to grow. You could even use them outdoors during the right times of the year, although much more limited and a higher failure rate when you start going outdoors. But really exciting. All these things are pre-done for you. So you just pick up your seedlings, you pop them into the system, and you start growing. So typically saves you about 30 days of growing time on average. It's going to get you to harvest much, much quicker, which is nice. Thanks for joining us through this. If you got all the way through, still not sure how to get going, we do have a digital course package, a remote indoor food growing consulting live video help, and it's at the QR code right there. So it includes 2 hours, 4 digital courses, 2 hours of one-on-one video training with one of our community growers who have grown for years indoors, and lots of other benefits as well. So all you have to do is scan there, sign up, and then you can get help, virtual help, live anytime you need to. So we actually love to find ways other people are growing indoors as part of this indoor food growing community, greater global community. So as part of the Grow Night, we always feature these, and so this particular group is Stack and Sprout. It looks like it's a small system that was designed in Toronto, maybe made in Toronto. I don't know. So it's a little looks like about 8 to 12 plants that grow into it. In size, it's got an external light system, can also be used on a balcony, which is great because Canada, pretty far north, hard to grow a lot of the year outdoors with such a limited growing season. But if you got those lights on, you can grow year round. So really nice looking system, probably very productive when you bring it inside and use it with LED grow lights. So give them a like and a follow, thank them for sharing, and hope to see more from them in the future. So that concludes our Grow Night. I hope you found this helpful. Next week, we're going to be talking about cooking with your indoor harvest on November 1st, 8 p.m. Eastern. And so keep in mind, this is live stream on YouTube, a couple of other channels. You can jump in anytime, ask questions. You can grow along with us. We've got tons of resources to help you out. And we would really love if you could join us. So do sign up for our free training program. Let me get that for you right here. Oh, it's in the upper right there. Scan that QR code, join our free training program, because you can start growing within 30 days. You can begin to grow food indoors, tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, greens, herbs, pretty much whatever you would like. You can do very well indoors in about the same size space as a coffee table. So super easy, and I highly recommend it. We've got tons of resources on our website as well, and lots of helpful things. So if you're looking for seeds, we do have a good option for you, Seeds Now, which is right here. Seeds Now has a lot of hydroponic packages that are geared towards growing indoors with hydroponics, in addition to, of course, growing from seedlings outdoor and then transplanting them outdoors. But definitely love to pre-grow stuff and grow indoors, One thing in particular I would love to recommend if you've never grown it before is lemon balm. It's very, very powerful taste. It's great in salads. You could mix it with some mint in a tea, hot tea if you want, this time of year. Grows excellent in either soil-based or hydroponic-based indoor growing systems. You can get lemon balm up to harvest size in probably 45 days in a hydroponic system. It's going to grow a lot. It's going to be very, very powerful taste, and it's going to be a great addition. So there's a quick source for some seeds there if you want to get started with those. And tune in next week 7, Cooking with Your Indoor Food Harvest. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to look at how you can go from one of these systems into, say, making a stir fry, or perhaps you're going to make some pesto, depending on what kind of plants you might have available. Please join us anytime. Join the free training program.